Welcome, curious souls, to the Macabre Emporium, your sanctuary for the unusual, the mysterious, and the appalling.
Step through our cryptic doorway into a world where secrets whisper and enigmas come to life.
I'm David.
And I'm Sarah.
Together, we're your custodians of the macabre, guiding you through tales that defy the ordinary.
Discover the untold stories, from lesser-known cases of true crime to the bizarre events that captivate us.
Join us on a journey to the shadows where the mainstream fades and the extraordinary beckons.
So whether you seek the bizarre, the eerie, or the chillingly obscure,
you're in for a treat here at Macabre Emporium.
Welcome back to Macabre Emporium. This is episode 49.
And if this is your first time joining us, being a battle scat or from Hillbilly Horror Stories or some other random corner of the internet, welcome!
Welcome!
So here we are, our New Year's Eve episode that we never did last year.
Yeah.
So.
Came in handy.
Hopefully everybody's, yeah. We had wrote this out before last year, and we never did it because we were like, you know what, we're taking the rest of the year off.
Yeah.
So this is, I guess you could say, a lost episode maybe this week.
No, not a lost episode.
Lost, just misplaced for a year.
Yeah. It was sidelined like a motherfucker.
Right. So hopefully everybody's Yule, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or whatever holiday traditions you have for the 25th. Creepmas, or Little Baby Jesus Day, or whatever goofy name you might have got. It was good for everybody.
Yeah. Not much to speak of. We haven't really done anything.
Yeah,
we
true.
both just got over COVID.
Yeah.
So
we're
there's
both back from the dead, like the men of Osovich Fortress, because I happen to have my Sabaton shirt on right now.
Yeah. That was a good 2 weeks of going absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. And then go back. You went back to work for a day and then back to nothing.
Went back for a day and then went on vacation until January 2nd. Oops. I didn't plan for that. It's just the way the shit happened.
Within our last year, what are some of the favorite stories that we've done?
For me, personally, I feel that my favorite episode that's been done was, well, not even a full episode, but a story from an episode would definitely be God's Rambo.
Right.
You did that really well.
Yeah, I keep hearing a lot of good things about that, and a lot of people are like, that whole intro, they're like, I'm so pumped up to hear this story the way you brought that in.
Yeah. No, you did a really good job on that one. And then, like, I'd say that's my favorite, but on, like, an equal playing field, basically. Mm-hmm. But in a completely different realm, I'd say probably the Bell Mansion episode. Right. Because we got to meet Justin Ermel from Mysterious Circumstances. We got to meet Jerry and Tracy from Hillbilly Horror Stories, which eventually led us on to be interviewed by Jerry. Right. And we did the investigation at the mansion.
Yeah, which you were completely terrified from start to finish.
Yes, but we'll be doing another one in May.
Yep. So she's getting her butthole ready for May, everybody.
Hey, buddy. Primed and ready to go.
She's preconditioning that butthole for maximum pucker factor for me.
Maximum effect. Yeah. So the one in May is at a haunted jail in Indiana. And that is hosted by the Brohio podcast and Justin Ermel from Mysterious Circumstances again. Yeah. So I'm excited to do that.
So, yeah, maybe might look into getting some of our own equipment before then.
Yeah.
So we're not just going in the dark with just a little digital voice recorder or something, so we can actually do our own thing.
Yeah. But as for a favorite of my own, I don't feel like I have a favorite. I think...
Because
they're all
hard to say.
Tragedy,
Yeah, it's like kind of hard to say, oh, I have a favorite true crime case where somebody died.
I'm going to say, I mean, they're not favorites, but they were in lighter spirits, and it was completely stupid for me, was that fucking Mary Lloyd one that you made me read, because I couldn't pronounce anything in there except for the words that came, or that were English.
The non-English words?
Yeah. And then probably the tongue twisters one, because that was just stupid and fun.
Well, with the Mary Lloyd one, that was because I was early onset COVID at that time, and we didn't want to cancel an episode again.
Yep.
And so I thought it was best to have Sarah read it, even though I am better at English pronunciations than Sarah is.
Never again read that shit. I will Never again. That was a one and done for me, thanks.
Oh, well, unless they say so. We want to hear Sarah say more English words.
Oh, God, unless they send me a list of shit they want to hear me say terribly. Sure, let's do that.
Careful, that might just happen.
I'll butcher everything you send my way.
Careful what you wish for.
I'm not wishing for it. What about you? As far as favorite episode and... we'll do favorite episode as your own personal episodes, your favorite episode of mine, and then just that. Your favorite, and then your favorite of mine.
Actually, favorites would become out of that same one. I mean, like, Attack of the Dead Men for Halloween was probably one of my favorite stories. Because
that was a really good one, too.
You know, it's sure determination will to fight to survive and get their vengeance back from being gassed, but also God's Rambo as well, too.
Yes.
You know, like I said, with the true crime thing, it's kind of hard to have a favorite or whatever.
I know.
But I don't know, maybe for a true crime case, that's a favorite that you did was either that lady in Mexico that went nuts and thought she was actually an Incan goddess, or maybe one of your most recent ones of the lady that was like deep frying a head in
Mama Nelson. Crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah. Deep frying a head and hands in a pan and whatnot, and having some long pig barbecue for Thanksgiving.
I would say, okay, so maybe that one would be one of my favorites, not in terms of like subject matter,
right?
But the comedy that you brought to that.
Yep. And there was Bill's head. Oh my God.
Well, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of what we planned on, like kind of our Potiversary episode. I went back in and dug in through numbers and things. This time last year, we actually had about 39 followers between, you know, all the big three platforms. So I went back and dug all around.
For those that don't know what the big three platforms are,
Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
And went back, dug through, and we are now up to 206 just on audio, plus whoever uses the own separate RSS feed and other platforms that I didn't follow.
Nice.
So thank you to all of you from me and Sarah on that.
Yes, and 51 on YouTube. We can't forget them either.
I was going to get to that. And we have 51 on YouTube as well.
I said it first.
And for our top 5 episodes closing out 2023, before we get into our fun tiddly bits for this episode, episode 1 is still our number 1 episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What Will It Do to Your Soft Tissue, which was, you know, the great pizza funeral and a whole bundle of nerves between the two of us for we're really doing this.
Yeah.
And, you know, we don't sound as nervous as we did before.
No. I feel like the first few episodes for me, I sounded like a robot. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 3, she's just as ugly on the inside as she is the outside.
Yes, she was.
The Sylvia Likens case and my arch road trip to Crown Hill Cemetery just down the road, basically.
Oh, yeah?
Because they both take place in Indianapolis.
Yep.
Episode 2, Ronald and the Colonel Aren't Loving It, my first true crime case that went from a 0 to 100 miles an hour in 3 seconds.
Yep.
With James Huberty, also known as Limp Dick in that episode.
What did I do on that one?
I don't know, you want to ask that again?
What did I... Sorry. What did I do on that episode? Did you only write down what you did on those episodes?
I only did it by episode title. I remembered what I did. Yours was the KFC murders. Ha! And you didn't think I'd remember.
I didn't.
Yeah, and oddly, I found this a little interesting. Well, there is the bonus episode, and then for the last of the top 5, the bonus Halloween episode. And oddly, I found this a little odd that this shot up to the top because on the list it's been in the middle of the pack. Episode 5, 2 Cryptids, 1 Urban Legend.
It was because of the title.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure somebody, you know, at least anybody 35 and older probably saw that and knew what was referenced. Like, okay, what's this?
Yeah. Though I wonder. So severely off topic.
Okay.
Like, there was the whole 2 girls, 1 cup thing.
Right.
And now there's 2 men and a truck. Or it's been out for a long time.
Oh, good Lord.
I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you haven't, please don't look it up.
No, yeah, you got to share with the rest of the class now.
That shit scarred me for life. I'm going to leave it at that. But, going into the next year, I wonder if there's going to be some new,
Oh, there's going to be.
just something is equally fucked up.
Oh, yeah, because at one point there was one guy, one jar.
Oh, God, I remember that.
So we are really off the rails here for New Year's Eve episode.
Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry, but if you know us well enough by now at this point, we kind of do that, and we're kind of fucked in the head in the first place.
We don't apologize for it.
Cab Emporium, obviously.
Yeah.
Should have been a big red flag, I guess, about how we are.
The biggest. So for me, kind of in retrospect, I feel like the last year's been really good for us. Mm-hmm. It's led us to meet people we never would have met otherwise and do things that we wouldn't have done otherwise, especially this bitch.
Right.
We've definitely gotten closer doing this together, and I couldn't imagine doing it with anybody else, nor would I want to.
Right.
We've done interviews with other podcasts and have another one in the works. Mm-hmm. We're not going to say who, but it's really expanded both of our social circles, which is a bonus. I know we never thought going into this that we would probably have as much fun doing it as we have, but we have. And we continually grow, and we're getting bigger. Thanks to everybody out there.
Yep.
I know for me, looking forward to next year, I would like to do more Victorian era stuff and more paranormal, but continue to do my true crime.
Of course.
Yeah. What about you? Is there anything you prefer or wish to go over in the next year?
Yeah, like I brought up in the Podiversary episode, that one I kind of do more road trip type-esque episodes, and then not be just learning about state, going to World Heritage sites and things.
Yeah.
And maybe do episodes on people similar to what you did as a Black Bart, kind of a general overview of their life.
Yeah.
And one of those first episodes is going to have to be about, Art Bell, because of people like him. This wouldn't be a thing, really.
Yeah.
Agree
with you there.
And some of those road trip episodes, I've heard of one little thing about these places, and I go to look into it for maybe a clearance bin or something else, and then it's wow, this whole entire place is quite interesting, so it needs its own episode. Kind of like how episode 3, Crown Hill Cemetery, was. Mm-hmm. So I want to try and do more of those.
Yeah.
Kind of do a little bit more obscure true crime stuff. Maybe not do all the mass murdering stuff like I've always done for that stuff. I mean, Tony Curtis obviously wasn't, a mass murder.
Yeah. It was
mass shooting. It was a very unique case is what that was.
It was.
And I don't know, maybe a cult or two. Not we're not talking doing Heaven's Gate or Jonestown or the Branch Davidians, little obscure ones.
You could always do the Cult of Jared Leto.
Well, actually, one of the shows we went on, he's actually a survivor of a cult that was founded in Indiana.
Maybe you could have him on to talk about
Thinking about it.
Yep.
He likes to get the word out about them and everything.
Yeah.
And they're aware of him talking out against them. But I'll probably start off next year with an inspirational story for everybody that has New Year's resolutions to better shape in mental health, physical health, so on and so forth. I've had it saved.
Huh.
Why are you looking at me confused?
Because I'm trying to think of what it is. I don't know.
What?
What you were just talking about.
What, the story?
Yeah.
I've never told you about this one.
Well, you don't tell me about any of them, but...
It's a video I watched about a man that ran a marathon in Australia, and it's just okay.
Oh, okay.
So now with all the retrospect and plans for next year out of the way, what do you have for our final episode of 2023, Sarah?
I have...
True crime.
No.
What?
Nope. I have New Year's Eve and New Year's Day superstitions from across the world. It's very listy, but it is what it is.
Right.
What do you have?
With us being sick, we wanted to still put something out for you guys.
Yeah.
I have a background on a New Year's Eve tradition.
Nuh-uh.
I know, big shock. I got origins and history stuff going on over here, right?
No way.
This is probably about one of the biggest traditions of New Year's Eve that everybody watches. The ball drop at Times Square.
Yep.
Just to warn people, I kind of intentionally worded this to unlock your 12-year-old inside of you.
Yeah. When you were reading the ball facts, and you started giggling like a fucking child.
And I couldn't stop for some reason. It shouldn't have been as funny as it was to me, but it was. Yeah. It is what it is.
Like, literally turned around and was like, I apologize. I'm like a 12-year-old again. It's like, that's cool.
So you ready to get started then? For real? Other, with the fun tiddly bits or the fun facts?
Yes. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. So in Scotland, you are supposed to avoid taking out the garbage or proposing on the first day of the new year because they say that doing so will take your luck with it.
Nah, I don't think I've ever taken the trash on New Year's Day that I can recall, so.
Yeah. I don't understand how proposing on New Year's Day would take your luck.
I don't know.
But, I mean, I guess I could see it with taking out the trash, but who knows? I'm not in Scotland, so if you cry on New Year's Day, it's a sign that bad things are to come. In fact, it could result in you having an entire year of sadness. So much like every year for some people.
Right.
Like, not every year's a good year. If you're a single female and you look out your bedroom window on New Year's Day, as soon as you wake up and see a dude walking by, it's a sign that you might find yourself married before the end of the year. But what if that dude looked like, I don't know, Steve Buscemi?
Or Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. Ugh.
And I mean, old, like current day, looks batshit crazy Gary Busey.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't specify if it would be that man himself. It just says a man.
Well, that's true. But what if you look and it's a really, really decent looking guy, but your dude winds up looking like Steve Buscemi?
Right? It's like, this superstition sucks. I saw Jason Momoa outside my window and I got Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Or Ed from fucking 90 Day Fiancé.
Rob Snyder. Like any of those bulgy-eyed people. In Spain, you're supposed to eat 12 grapes between 12 a.m. and 12:01 a.m. They say it brings you good luck for the upcoming year, and they eat 12 of them to symbolize one for each month of the new year.
Yeah, I kind of guessed what that was.
Although, I don't know why it's grapes.
I don't know.
Could have been anything, I guess. In Latin America, wearing red underwear on New Year's Eve will grant you a new relationship in the new year. The color of hussies. Anyways.
It's the color of passion, the color of love, and all that stuff. Come on now. As I turned into Rick for a minute there.
You gotta leave that in.
I know it's going to.
What the fuck?
I don't know. That's what I get for trying to finish my Coke off before we come back in here.
Okay, carrying on. Wearing both red and yellow underwear brings you love and luck. Wearing gold brings you...
Hopefully not golden showers.
Wealth. Gold underwear brings you wealth.
Right.
But if you take them off, perhaps a golden shower.
Yeah, well, and you said red and yellow. My first thing, before you even finished that thought, was like, it's going to bring Ronald McDonald.
Oh, God. Nope. And wearing white underwear brings you peace. You just got to make sure they're clean.
Right.
You don't want to bring the funk. In numerous countries, you're told to be super loud and make as much noise as you can as the clock strikes midnight, as this will ward off evil spirits from entering your home. So Dee's house is covered every day of the year.
Yep.
If you run around...
What is an evil spirits? Anything about demons in there?
Demons?
Yeah.
Demon.
So just evil spirits, not demons?
Nope.
Okay.
If you run around your house 7 times, you'll have good luck in the new year. Just, don't be surprised if you look like a lunatic while you're doing it.
Yeah, I don't think even with the, still after effects of this third bout of COVID, I can fucking do that right now if I wanted to.
No. Lung capacity is definitely not what it's supposed to be. In Italy, it's common practice to see people tossing things from their windows on New Year's Eve. They do this to make room for positive vibes in the new year. Can you imagine just walking down the street, minding your own business, and you're getting, dinged in the dome repeatedly from people just throwing their random shit out the window?
Yeah, I went the other way with that. I went cartoonishly Wile E. Coyote with that, and a fucking piano drops on your fucking head. And boom, you got a new episode to do.
I guess if they can fit a piano out, they're not real clear on what you're supposed to throw out. You're just supposed to throw shit out. I don't know. In Romania, people dress up in bear skins and dance throughout the streets. They do this from Christmas to New Year's Eve to ward off severe bad luck. But regular bad luck is okay, I guess.
Right. Well, what classifies as severe bad luck, though?
I don't know. It just said severe bad luck. So, like, regular bad luck, cool.
Yeah.
Severe bad luck, not cool. Don't eat lobster on New Year's Eve. Many cultures seem to believe that since lobsters move backwards, if you eat them before midnight, the new year will have a lot of setbacks for you.
Where was that one at?
I don't know.
It doesn't say?
It says many cultures, so it's...
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is weird because, like, when I was looking into this, the thing that came up that might be a clearance bin thing was about lobster club restaurants in Times Square on New Year's Eve.
Huh. When you think of a scarecrow, you might think of fall or Halloween, right?
Well, me for mostly Wizard of Oz comes to mind first, but go ahead.
Well, yeah. But in Ecuador, they're a symbol of the previous year's negative energy, and you're supposed to burn them on Christmas Eve to start the new year with, positive energy. He's really a fucking potato, ain't he?
Yeah, he is. At least he doesn't just flop like most cats would.
That's true. Numerous cultures believe that you should not step into the new year on your left foot. So always start the new year by stepping with your right foot to guarantee the start of the new year starts off on the right foot. So make sure.
Yeah.
New Year's Day, you wake up, you walk out with your right foot first.
Is that like out of a room, out of a house?
It just says your first step.
Yeah, like I'm going to remember that after... See, with these these superstitions, it's weird. It's like, okay, is it after you go to bed and then you wake up, or is it because you stay up till midnight and then you got to remember to step off on your right foot at 12:01 or anything like that?
No. Opening your door just before midnight is supposed to allow you to let the old year out and welcome the new year in. It's also a good way to freeze your nipples off if you're from the Midwest.
Yeah. But it seems so far this year that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I feel like because of how warm it's been, that
we're gonna get fucked hard in
January's gonna kill us. In China, it's suggested that you do not clean, even if you had a party. They say that if you clean, you'll end up throwing away or washing away your good luck, and this includes your clothes. Like, you just gotta keep them dirty until the second. Don't wash anything. You shit on the floor, just leave it there.
Yeah, try and carry off that tradition here in the United States with people with New Year's Eve party where everyone's drunk as shit and somebody throws
puking
up
everywhere.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
Or somebody that's your enemy comes in and spikes shit with a laxative.
Oh, no thank you.
Yeah, I don't know why my brain went there on that one.
Because that's how your brain works. On New Year's Eve, if you carry an empty suitcase through your home, it means that you're inviting excitement and new adventures in to you in the new year. An empty suitcase. Just walking around your place with an empty suitcase in your hand. In the Philippines, some believe that polka dots, or really any object that is round, are worn to bring money. Since polka dots are round like coins, they think it also brings wealth, abundance, and success in the new year. So, stock up on your polka dot before New Year's Eve. Also, make sure that you stock your cupboards. It's that if you go into the new year with empty or nearly empty cupboards, that you will struggle for the next 12 months. Much like people are doing now anyways. In Japan, Buddhist temples all over the country ring their bells 108 times as they believe that this will get rid of the 108 types of human weaknesses.
I got nothing on that one.
Yeah, me neither. David actually found this one for me, and it got added. Don't let a woman be the first one to enter your house in the new year. Known as the first foot or first footing, the superstition from Scotland and northern England held that it was bad luck for either a light-haired or, depending on the region, a dark-haired man to be the first to enter a home in the new year. Worse was to have a woman be the first to enter. In one Shropshire valley, it was thought to be bad luck for a woman to enter the house at all before noon.
Damn it, I didn't trip her up with an English word in there.
No, Shropshire was pretty easy. In Puerto Rico, it's a custom to throw a bucket or a glass of water out the window at midnight to clear out the old year and drive away evil spirits. The water is used to signify all the tears and strife of the year before, and you're tossing it out so that it's not brought into the new year.
See, that'd be the one that would suck, just walking down the street and you get splashed in the face full of bucket full of water.
Yeah, ice bucket challenge that you didn't ask for.
Right.
In Colombia and other parts of South America, straw dolls called Old Year dolls are burned at midnight as they are leaving behind the bad from the previous year. Colombians also carry around empty suitcases on New Year's Eve, hoping for a travel-filled year. So, kind of coincides with the other one that I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
On New Year's Eve in Russia, it is tradition to write your new wish on a piece of paper, burn it, and dump the smoldering ashes into your glass of champagne, which you then gulp down at midnight. Like, only in Russia, dude.
Right. So maybe the one download that we have, then that's like, hopefully we can hear from them, but it's like if that's still really a thing that people still do today.
The tradition of eating black-eyed peas may have begun as far back as ancient Egypt, as a way of showing humility and gaining favor from the gods in the new year. The tradition was adopted in the South following the Civil War, when all the slaves had to eat were black-eyed peas and pork. As the Emancipation Proclamation took effect on January 1st, eating black-eyed peas on New Year's became a symbol of freedom and is now an omen for luck and prosperity.
Are you about to say blood?
Yes.
Blood and prosperity.
Yes, I was. But that's not what it was. It was just luck and prosperity. That's all I got.
Just trying to remember if there was one village in Peru in the Andes Mountains, if it was Christmas Day or New Year's Eve, where they literally will fist fight each other to settle their differences before going into the new year. Yeah, there's videos of it.
Like, they fist fight and then
they
they're like,
physically beat the shit out of each other.
all right, bro, we're good now.
Yeah.
Really?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
And they got referees for it and everything. They make sure it doesn't get too far out of hand. And it's like women against women, child against child. Like, everybody in this village gets involved with it.
Is there midget on midget slap scenes?
I'm sure there is. If they have a quarrel that they hold, like, so, like, if they have a problem with somebody, they wait until Christmas Day, I think it is. They wait until Christmas Day to do this. And then they settle their differences on Christmas Day by meeting up and beating the shit out of each other as the rest of the village watches on.
The meet and beat. I love it.
The meet and beat. In other parts of the world, that's a whole other meaning.
Yeah.
Well, the word "and" is taken out and...
Meat beat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Wasn't that a band? Like fucking Meat Beat Manifesto or some shit?
I don't know. It sounds like an underground punk band of some sort.
I gotta look it up. Hang on. There is a band called Meat Beat Manifesto.
Okay, then. I guess it does already exist.
Yeah, from the 80s. Of course.
Let me guess, it's a punk band too, isn't it?
Electronic music.
Yeah, that would be my second guess, actually.
Formed in the UK.
Yeah, that sounds about right for that too. But...
Huh. Meat beat. Anyways, enough about beating meat.
All right. So you're ready to hear about balls drop and all that good stuff?
Oh, I am.
All right. So, on New Year's Eve is where the one holiday where we all gather with friends and family and watch balls drop around the world to usher in the coming new year. We have been celebrating the start of the new year since as early as 2000 BCE in Mesopotamia during the vernal equinox, first day of spring, March 20th. New Year's Day would be moved to January 1st when Julius Caesar proposed that the Julian calendar in 46 BCE. It is also believed that January 1st was selected to honor the Roman god Janus, who has two faces, meaning that he could go back into the past and move forward into the future. So, like, for Thanksgiving, we are going to go back to New York City again this week for a countdown to the new year. The first New Year's Eve celebration that took place in Times Square was in 1904 to commemorate the opening of the new headquarters for the New York Times. Alfred Ox, the owner of the New York Times, would lobby to have the square renamed Times Square from its original name of Longacre Square to honor the newspaper's new home, before the New York Times moved into the building and held the celebration. And this was before the New York Times moved into this building and held the celebration that would become a holiday bucket list item. This tradition was originally celebrated at Trinity Church near Wall Street. Ox wouldn't spare any expense to celebrate his building to ensure a party for the ages. Ox would have an all-day street festival, culminate the event with a fireworks display set off from the base of One Times Square, the tall, super skinny building where the ball drops from now. They estimated that 200,000 people showed up for this very first celebration, and the crowd's cheers could be heard as far as Croton-on-Hudson, a village 30 miles north of New York City on the Hudson River.
Wow, they could hear it that far out.
That's what they claim. You gotta remember, the world was a lot quieter back then, too.
Well, not as many huge buildings either.
2 years later, after the city banned the fireworks, Ox would have a ball made of iron and wood, constructed and covered in over 125-watt light bulbs, and used the maritime tradition of lowering a ball at noon to tell the time. This first ball weighed around 700 pounds. It's like metal, it's iron and wood, so two very dense materials.
Yeah.
During World War II, would be the only time that the lighted ball wouldn't be dropped due to voluntary dim outs to keep the skyline hidden from possible German submarines in the Atlantic, or battleships as well too. Instead, they chimed church bells at midnight for 2 years straight. Well, not 2 years straight, but for the 2 consecutive years of the war. The ball itself has only changed 7 times in the 115-year tradition. So over 115 years, this ball has only changed appearance 7 times.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
The original ball, as I previously mentioned, was made out of wood and iron and had 125-watt light bulbs covering the outside of it. And then in 1920, the ball would be made completely of iron and only weighed 400 pounds, which I don't understand how that reduced.
Made of iron and it only weighed?
Yeah, I don't understand how making it out of one entire material reduced the weight. I don't know, it could be something with the density of the wood. I'm not a...
But it's iron.
Right, but who knows? And then this ball would be used until 1954 when an all-aluminum ball would be made, and it weighed only 150 pounds and was covered in 180 light bulbs.
180?
Yep. So the ball got bigger, so they put more lights on it. Or they just compacted lights a little bit more into it.
It didn't get much bigger because you said they had 125-watt light bulbs, right?
Yep.
So they've only got 20 more? Or 80 more?
Yep.
Huh.
During the 1980s, they replaced the white light bulbs with red and added a leaf and stem and green light bulbs to create a giant apple for the I Love New York campaign.
That's where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
1995 would be the next big change when an aluminum skin would be added and covered in 10,000 rhinestones. The light bulbs would be replaced with halogen lamps and computerized lighting effects. This would be known as the glitter ball. This year, the ball would be 2 seconds late in arriving at the base of the flagpole it was lowered on. This ball would be used until 1999 when the Millennium Ball was created. The Millennium Ball would be covered in Waterford crystals and would be the world's largest crystal ball at 1,000 pounds and be 6 feet in diameter, and covered in 600 halogen bulbs, 500 triangle-shaped crystals, and 96 spinning strobe lights.
That's crazy.
The next change would be in 2002. 195 panels would be engraved with the names of countries and organizations that had the names of casualties from the 9/11 attacks on them.
I didn't know that they did that.
I didn't either until I looked this up. Huh. And this wasn't just the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center. This was also the names, the Pentagon, and the 4 airplanes that were used in the attacks. And these panels today are in part of the collection of the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. I could not find if they are on display or not. Hopefully that they are.
I would assume so.
And the final change in 2007, for the 100th anniversary, a completely new ball would be built. And this ball would be covered in 32,000 LED lights and weighs almost 6 tons and is in 12 feet in diameter. With all the LED lighting, they can create over 16 million different colors.
Jesus.
And this now is the permanent ball that we see today every year since 2007 drop. And if you go to the New Year's Eve Times Square website, there's actually 2 different cameras. There's a ball 1 and ball 2 cam that you can actually see it from 2 different angles. There's like one from a distance and there's one close up, and I saw you smirking over there.
I was wondering if you were going to be able to get through that without smirking yourself. That's why I was like, is it going to happen? Is he going to giggle because he's talking about watching balls on the computer?
Oh, I'm sure at some point when I get towards the end of this, I'm going to start fucking laughing.
Oh, God.
So from December 1st up until December 29th, visitors to Times Square can visit the New Year's Eve wishing well and write a wish for the new year on a piece of the 2,500 pounds of confetti that will be dumped by hand by 100 volunteers at midnight.
Wow. They're dumped by hand? Yep. It's not just like big thing that they pull, they pull the the string and it all just falls out.
I always thought it was probably confetti cannons they had set up. Well, they just like shot them off. But no, if you get it's all dumped by hand. And like days prior, they will dump 75 pounds as a test.
That's still, for confetti, that's still a lot of confetti.
Yeah, 75 pounds out of 2,500 pounds, though. But still. Ooh. And the size of these pieces are from the pictures I saw about the New Year's Eve wishing well they look about the size of a Post-it note.
Oh, so they're not huge.
No, but still. Because, I mean, you see them on TV. I mean, they're a good significant size, but these, I'm not wondering if these are the ones that they used on the test or not. But it'd be pretty cool if they weren't, and they were actually on the ones dropped on New Year's Eve. The numbers 2024, all four of the numbers are actually 7 feet tall, and they are constructed in Inglewood, California, and then driven cross country to New York City. The number 2024 is covered in a total of 602 LED lights and has a combined weight of 1,000 pounds total.
That's crazy. That's so much.
Crappy thing is, I had the script written out last year for 2023, and I had, and one source I had used had all the weights for each number individually. And unfortunately, I could not find it this year, which kind of irritated me. It's like, cool, because all I got to do is go in and switch one number. And then now I had to take all that out because it never got posted, the numbers by weight. So, some other little fun facts about weather things on Times Square for the New Year's Eve ball drop. The coldest ball drop and somehow didn't have any shrinkage was in 1917 and was only 1 degree when a wind chill of 7 below.
You can't just slip shit in there like that. Give me a fucking... warn me.
I know, because if I warn you, it's not going to be like great reactions like that we just had.
With a little shrinkage. What the fuck? Okay, go.
All right, are you sure?
Uh-huh.
See? Like I said, I wrote it out to, the trigger 12-year-olds.
Of course.
The average temperature for the ball drop is 34 degrees.
Damn. Not this year, though.
Yep. The warmest ball drop was in 1972 at 58 degrees, which probably might get broken this year. Who knows?
Maybe.
If their weather is anything like ours. And 4 inches of snow fell on Times Square in 1948.
Ugh.
The wettest ball drop would be in 1936 with 0.48 inches of rain.
Yeah, that's a lot. Because you said the wettest ball drop.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to be professional.
Trying to be professional. You guys, her face is like so red right now. Trying to...
it's difficult.
Yeah. So yeah, I had to throw that shrinkage part in there.
Yeah, that was great.
So that's it for, a very short, brief history on the ball drops and Times Square and whatnot.
Yeah. I didn't realize that those numbers were so, tall.
Right. Well, they gotta be able to be seen from the street, so...
That's true. Each one of them 7 feet, you said?
Yeah, they're 7 feet tall.
So they're taller than you.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So for those that met me, these numbers are taller than me.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Crazy.
A little bit.
Yeah. Before we end the episode, we both just want to say thank you very much from the bottom of our little black hearts. We thank you for all of you that have found us, listened to us, and continue to listen to us. We appreciate each and every one of you and are glad you're here with us. Thank you to those that have given us show ideas and to those that have taken the time to give us feedback and constructive criticism. You've stuck with us from episode 1, hopefully.
Right.
If not, and you're starting, we look forward to you listening to the rest of them, I guess. We hope you stick with us for the rest of the year to come. Thank you for being a part of our weird little family.
Yep. But I would also like to thank, some people, individuals, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to thank Donald Fisher, for the awesome Hot Wheels car that he made of Helgi Meyer's Camaro and driving all the way over here just to deliver it to us. I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
And, he's dropped our name out there.
Numerous times.
Numerous times as well. Zach Flannery, a whole lot of big thanks to him, too, because he went out of his way to get music for the third part of the Bath Township episode. Because as soon as I heard it, I was like, does this fit? Like, hey, can I get an instrumental of it? It's like, yeah, sure, when you want it. It's like, cool. And then he, him dropping us on David Angus, name drops on there. He's also done it on Just a Ride at least once. And the Patreon live streams and everything. And not even asking, he's just done it on his own. So if you haven't listened to Scatcast, go listen to Scatcast if you like some sketch comedy stuff. it's a little bit to get into, but once you figure out the flow of it, it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I also want to say thank you to Paul Folks of the Phantasmagoric Oddities Emporium podcast, for, just throwing our name out there too, like we've done for you in the past, for, people who go listen. Also, Jerry Pauly and Tracy of Hillbilly Horror Stories, along with Justin Rimmels, for putting on, I guess you could say, a bucket list item for me, and so we can get a foot in the door with the paranormal investigation at the Bell Mansion that we did. Looking forward to our next one that Justin is going to be doing in May. Well, live podcast event in May with the Brohio podcast. So that'll be an interesting one from one extreme to the other on that. Yeah. And I also want to give thanks to Minnie McIntyre and Lindsay for coming hanging out with us every week on Twitch, which is still fairly new, and it's not going to take over the podcast. It's just something fun I wanted to do so I can interact with you guys more, other than through the Facebook group and wherever else that we interact with you guys on the internet. And, of course, we can't forget the dog show.
And cannot forget the dog show. Yeah. Even though dogs are fucking drooly-ass animals.
And no, you weren't left off at the end for, to be facetious or whatever, because you guys are the dog show. And that's the Dark Windows podcast, Kevin Carlton and Kevin Heyer, for helping us out with stupid questions about podcasting at the very beginning of things. So
hopefully we see you in May with Justin and the Brohio podcast.
And of course, thank you to everybody that listens to us.
Yes, sir.
Even though Sarah did cover that, I need to say it myself too.
I did.
So if you're also looking for new shows, go check out Scatcast or the Phasdapo. I don't give a shit at this point.
Phantasmagoric Oddities Emporium.
Yes, the one that Sarah said with Paul Folks.
And Dark Windows.
And Dark Windows and Hillbilly Horror Stories and all that.
Mysterious Circumstances.
And Mysterious Circumstances with Justin Rimmel, of course.
Yes.
Go check those guys out if you're wanting a new podcast to go do a deep dive in. After you get done with listening to us first, obviously.
Yeah. Go do a deep dive, like balls deep. Ha!
Wow.
On that note,
I think it's time we close the Emporium for the day, Sarah. What do you think?
I agree.
So until next time.
Remember to creep it real.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Please go and check out our website at macabreemporiumpodcast.com. Join our Facebook group by searching Macabre Emporium. Like and subscribe on YouTube at Macabre Emporium Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Macabre Emporium Pod. Follow us on Twitter at Macabre Emporium. If you have any stories of the paranormal, your local true crime, or weird history that you would like us to look into and possibly do an episode on, email us at macabreemporiumpod@gmail.com. And remember to follow, rate, review, and share whenever and wherever you can to help us grow our podcast.
What the fuck are you doing?
Trying to fit in spots that his big ass don't belong in.
That's going to put at the end.